Welcome back to our biomass class, where we're delving deeper into the fascinating world of conversion of biomass resources into heat and power. This video was made with the support of InnoEnergy. Remember that this biomass energy course has 9 lessons. Lesson 5 has an introduction and several videos that go deeper in some applications of biomass combustion. Let's continue with the second part of heating in Bidings. Jane is giving a conference in Saint-Jean-les-Fonts about biomass for buildings. After presenting the types of feedstock and equipment, there is a questions and answers session.
Thank you, Jane. Sorry for this interruption. I'm sure that people have questions about how biomass can be used at their homes.
Hi, my name is Giuseppe. I live in an old single-story building and I have an old fireplace. Can I burn pellets instead of wood to increase the efficiency?
For sure. However, you cannot burn pellets directly. You need to install a modern pellet stove. You can search for suppliers that facilitate the insert of the pellet stove in your fireplace. Be aware that some modifications in the airflow conditions will be needed. Additionally, they need to install a pellets hopper to feed the stove, which will feed your fireplace automatically.
Aha. Thank you, Jane.
My name is Sandra. Jordy and I live in a 2-story building with our 2 children. We don't want to have several stoves, but only one that can heat the whole building. Is that possible?
Yes, of course. A biomass comfort system distributes hot air usually for a maximum of a 2-story building. Air outlets can be positioned high up near the ceiling or down by the floor. The heat diffusion is controlled by fans.
What about hot water? Can we have both, space heating and hot water with the same system?
Absolutely. In that case, you must install a boiler, maybe in your garage or in another suitable space. The heat of the biomass boiler can be used to heat water. That can be sent to radiators for space heating or used as domestic hot water. These systems can have a very high energy efficiency.
Thank you.
More questions?
Yes, my name is Pillar. I'm the director of the secondary school. We already have a boiler fed with natural gas that provides space heating and hot water. Can we easily replace the old boiler with a biomass boiler?
Yes, Pillar. Biomass systems do not differ so much from the conventional systems. The main differences reside in the smoke evacuation system that must be larger and include a chimney, the hot water storage system, and in biomass storage. The storage system depends on the feedstock you use. Buffer tanks or reservoirs can be important in your case.
Why?
Because they store the hot water and circulate it around the heating system. Therefore, they are crucial for the efficient operation of biomass boilers where the system loading fluctuates rapidly, or the volume of water in the complete hydraulic system is relatively small. I recommend you to install a reservoir of hot water for the school as you can have peak demands of hot water. Thank you, Maria.
Can you give us more details about important things we must consider for installing a biomass stove or boiler?
Yes, of course. The first thing to consider is fuel supply. For the biomass system, you will need a reliable supply of wood fuel. Consult on the internet the biomass suppliers in your region. If you want to calculate your needs, you can roughly consider that for 1 megawatt-hour of heat you need 285 kilograms of wood chips with a 30% of moisture content, 244 kilograms of wood logs with a 20% of moisture content, and 208 kilograms of wood pellets around with a 10% of moisture content. As you can see, the amount of fuel needed is inversely proportional to the moisture content. Also on the stove or boiler efficiency, of course. This megawatt-hour can provide heat for around 20 days for a single room, 3 days for a 2-stories building, and few hours for the school. The second thing to consider is fuel storage. For small systems like the ones of Josep and Sandra, you can choose between logs and pellets. You will probably prefer pellets because they don't need a large space for storage and are fed automatically. For the school, like in other big buildings, you can choose between wood chips and pellets. However, you must take into account that wood chip systems need a large space, not only for the storage, but also enough space for the lorries that will bring you wood chips. If there is not space enough or a narrow access, you are limited to wood pellets that have higher density and could come by van. Buying pellets in bags can be very expensive. Therefore, negotiate with your supplier a good price for pellets sold in bulk. Keeping the EN+ certification, of course. Finally, you must consider the specificities of the air and flue gas system. Biomass heating systems need air to circulate around the unit, so adequate air supply and ventilation are essential. An existing chimney flue may need to be strengthened or lined.
If I install a biomass boiler at home, should I need special permissions?
Biomass systems and their emissions must meet current regulations. Currently, there are no regulations for small biomass boilers, like in your case. However, if the boiler for the school exceeds 500 kilowatts, the technical instruction regulating emissions should be applied. In the EU member states apply the Directive 2015/2193. However, this is something your boiler supplier must guarantee. Regarding the chimney, biomass boilers and stoves don't generally need planning permission as long as the flue sticks up less than 1 meter above the roof height and is not on the home's principal elevation. However, contact your local planning department for knowing the local regulations.
Thank you very much, Jane. It has been a fruitful conference. I hope some of our villagers will start a biomass project very soon.
Conclusions. Biomass systems for space heating and domestic hot water do not differ so much from the conventional systems. The main differences reside in smoke evacuation, the hot water storage system, and in biomass storage. Finally, ask the boiler supplier for the compliance of emissions regulations. And consult your local planning department to know if you need planning permission.